Hold on to that.
Yep.
Firefighters rushing to pull a victim out of an icy lake. This is training, but it's the time of year when our crews need to be ready to do this for real. Winter in Colorado means huge swings in temperatures and weather conditions, and that means the ice on area lakes and ponds can be unstable and potentially dangerous. How we train for ice rescue and what's happening around the district in this West Metro update.
JEFCON 911, what is the address of the emergency?
Truck 14, you were responding to an ice rescue at Big Soda Lakes. We have 2 male parties through the ice.
When someone falls through the ice, time is critical.
Over here, help me!
As the minutes tick by, shock and panic take over as drowning becomes a real possibility.
Confirmed 2 people in the water, one approximately 30 feet.
We are out doing our annual surface ice rescue training.
That's why each year, West Metro firefighters train in surface ice rescue, so they're ready to respond.
With this training evolution today, we expect our crews to show up like they would for a regular call in their ice rescue suit, in the apparatus they're responding on, so they can step out of the truck ready to perform a rescue as they would in real life.
Keep going, because we would normally drag them to shore, so just give them the whole deal. I think that's good.
Most often the call is to rescue a dog in the water, but at least once or twice each year it's a person, maybe a dog owner who went in after their pet or someone who thought the ice was solid.
Dispatch, Soda Lakes Command, first victim out of the ice on the shoreline. Send me a second medic.
In Colorado, with the weather being so unpredictable and freezing one day and sunny and in the 40s or 50s the next day, the ice can be thin in spots, as well as ice is difficult to trust on most of the lakes and ponds we have here with moving water from fountains or what have you. It's very difficult to tell and trust the thickness of ice.
Every one of our engine's towers and trucks carries an ice rescue suit on board. During the wintertime, it's stored in the cab, like back here on engine 4, so that the firefighter sitting in this position can grab it and put it on the way to the call.
Okay, Brian, that one's going to be yours. Straight ahead of you.
Surface ice rescues are just that, rescuing someone who is still visible in the water, with the yellow protective suits designed to keep the firefighter and the victim afloat.
Mike, you're good? Yep, let's do it.
When someone has gone under, our dive team steps in. Their dry suits are designed to submerge, and they train in underwater search and rescue. In Colorado's lakes and ponds, quite a bit of debris gets stirred up from the bottom, making it extremely difficult to see, so search is often by touch, with divers systematically working through a grid pattern in the search area.
I think getting her off the ice is our priority here once he gets the strap down.
A very unusual ice rescue. A horse fell through the ice on a small but deep pond and could not get out on her own. Firefighters used a rope around the mare's neck to help pull her up and out and onto a more solid section of ice. She had a few cuts and was shaking with cold, but after a few minutes of rest, she was able to stand up and walk back to the barn.
Or do we just take her through the gate?
You want to bring her this way? She's not close to the ice.
Where's she at? Yeah, follow her.
Excellent.
A Lakewood couple was just minutes away from leaving on a road trip with their RV all packed up and ready to go when suddenly it's on fire.
There's a hydrant to the just behind them on the left.
This is what the crew with West Metro Tower 8 saw as they arrived on scene in a neighborhood in Lakewood. The RV and contents were a total loss, and there was some radiant heat damage to the home's garage door and siding. One resident was treated for smoke inhalation. Our investigators say the cause of the fire was a malfunction of the propane gas refrigerator. At a mobile home park near 14th and Allison, a space heater is to blame for the fire that gutted this RV. 2 residents and a dog were inside at the time of the fire. The residents were able to get out, but the dog could not. One resident had minor injuries and was treated on scene and released. The cause of this fire on South Marshall in Lakewood was a natural gas heater mounted to the ceiling in the garage, which ignited combustible materials. Firefighters contained the fire to the garage with limited extension to the attic space above. At least 6 people were home at the time. All of them got out without injury. Firefighters located and rescued a dog that was hiding in a bedroom. The first crews on scene at this fire on Fenton Street near 9th Avenue reported heavy fire and smoke conditions on the backside of the structure. The resident, who was home at the time, suffered critical injuries while trying to locate his 2 cats who were hiding somewhere inside. Firefighters did rescue 1 cat that unfortunately later died from its injuries. They were unable to locate the second cat. The cause of this fire is under investigation. West Metro's HAZMAT team was called in to assist North Metro Fire on an incident in Broomfield. Firefighters responded to a drug laboratory in an apartment building. Their assignment was to identify the chemicals in the apartment unit so they could be mitigated. A Freon leak at this King Soopers on 38th Avenue and Sheridan. People inside the store first believed there was a structure fire, but what they thought was smoke was really the gas leak. The store was evacuated as firefighters worked to successfully ventilate the building. Freon is heavier than air and displaces oxygen, why a leak is potentially dangerous. In Lakewood, at this apartment building on Union, firefighters were on scene investigating the source of carbon monoxide. A resident called 911 when his CO alarm sounded. High levels of CO were found on several floors, however, no one showed any signs of sickness. Crews systematically shut down possible sources and ventilated the building. Carbon monoxide, or CO, is an odorless and colorless gas that can build up indoors and poison both people and pets. It can be deadly. Most carbon monoxide exposures happen in the winter. Symptoms of CO poisoning include headache, dizziness, nausea and vomiting, disorientation, and loss of consciousness. Protect yourself and your family by installing CO alarms in your home and making sure they're operating properly. Check them at least twice a year when you change batteries. It wasn't the icy weather, but rather a driver mistaking reverse for drive that sent this truck into a townhome at 8th Avenue and Union. The resident that was sitting on the couch in the living room when the truck crashed into the wall was evaluated on scene, and so was the driver. West Metro's technical rescue team worked to shore up the building and secure the townhome unit. In 2022, our crews responded to more than 41,000 calls for help, and most of those calls were medical emergencies. That's why at the beginning of this year, we put a new ambulance or medic into service.
Engine 8, Medic 8, Stroke Victim.
This is Medic 8, the newest addition to our fleet of ambulances. Medic 8 is staffed with at least 1 paramedic, responds to all emergency medical calls, and does have advanced life support capability. The personnel on Medic 8 will respond to all emergency medical calls, so that's cardiac arrest, stroke, any traumatic type calls. They're tied to auto accidents. They respond to all hazards. So if there's a structure fire, they'll respond with the engine to support the engine, either in fire suppression or as a medical unit. And Station 8 happens to specialize in dive rescue. So the personnel assigned to Medic 8 and to the station are also capable of responding to dive rescue calls. We've placed Medic 8 in this location. It's in the heart of our district. We've seen an increase in call volume, and that can be attributed to increases in population, increase in the age of our population. So the demand for service, for 911 service, continues to increase. In fact, year over year, we saw over a 5% increase in our total call volume. Almost 70% of all of our calls are emergency medical calls. So as that call volume increases, that puts increased stress on our system. And so by adding this medic unit, we can help support the demand that we're seeing for emergency medical calls and be more responsive to the community.
I'm going to say a phrase, I want you to repeat it. You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
We do a risk analysis of the community to determine where needs are, what those needs are, and how we can best meet those needs. It really is an investment in the community. We're investing in Medicaid so that we can deliver the level of service that we expect of ourselves, that we believe the community expects of us, and that's to be prompt, professional, and compassionate every time that we respond to a 911 call.
And finally, a look at a brand new addition here at Station 4. Created out of retired fire hose, the flag measures 9.5 feet wide by 18.5 feet long. Each star is 7 inches in diameter. It took Station Captain Dan Farney about 2 months to cut, paint, and assemble the flag, and then the crew put it up in the apparatus bay.
I was pleased with how large it was, because there's a saying, go big or go home, and it filled the space, and I've gotten a lot of good positive feedback about it.
Next up, a Colorado flag for that blank space behind the ambulance. And that's just a quick look at some of what's happening here around West Metro. For more information on the fire district or to get safety tips for home or work, visit our website, westmetrofire.org. And for breaking news and information, follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.